cash is.
Okay. Thank you, co-chairs, for this opportunity. Let me talk about procurement in Iebc, about the ballot papers. Procurement is under the Secretariat, and by the time we were recruited in September 2021, most of the strategic materials were already procured, meaning that they were already advertised and the process was way past. So we've had issues with the way things were done when we first arrived. And in our first plenary, we disagreed with the technology that was procured. And all of us said no. But this matter went to court, and then it was ruled that the procurement can proceed. My question to committee and even to the structure of Iebc and the legal reforms that are going to be done. There is no avenue when the commissioners disagree, and especially when majority disagree, and there is no any other avenue, Iebc being independent, to go and vet out for this matter to be agreed upon in an amicable manner, knowing that Iebc is the referee, and referee needs to do things that are acceptable to each and everyone that is going to be participating in this thing. Many times in the commission, in the boardroom, we have differed in opinion, but for the sake of the country having an election in August the 9th, all these matters were quickly agreed upon and some put under the table so that we can have the election. As the commissioners, we have always had conflict. So this was not the first one, as was insinuated by the Supreme Court. It's only that there is no any other avenue. And I will propose something. In the future, can there be an ad hoc, can there be a neutral body that oversees Iebc apart from JLAC? In that body should be like this bipartisan committee, so that things that the commissioners have already clashed about can be resolved, and then the commission moves ahead. The procurement of ballot papers was already done, and I will jog your mind back in July. I can't remember the specific date, but the newspapers in the country were all awash with news that ballot papers were coming from Uganda. And a honorable member was mentioned, whether it was data press or not. Funny enough, the night of that day, the chairman called me and said that tomorrow we are receiving our legit ballot papers from the airport. As the vice chair, I was shocked why this is happening, as if we didn't have a plan. Nonetheless, the next day, the chairman plus a few commissioners went to the airport to receive our ballot paper, and the rest remained because we had a function with Kenya Private Sector Alliance. That day, there was a clear departure of the commission not working together. But for the sake of the country, we stood and we told the country that everything is in order. It was just communication breakdown between the secretariat and the commissioners. That should not have happened in a civilized country like ours. That is something that breaks the trust, because if the secretariat will do something and they will not inform the commissioner, that is wrong. Let me submit to the committee that After that, the chairman proposed to the stakeholders that we will go to Greece to oversee the printing of the presidential ballot papers, because by then papers had already started coming to the country. So the presidential ballot papers were the last in the schedule to be printed. So the stakeholders, I am a chair of the partners, so the stakeholders gave their names and we started the process of getting visa to Greece. The process took a little bit longer than expected. We had to get people intervene on behalf of the team. By the time we left the country to Greece, the presidential ballot papers were already printed, and we were just doing the final bit of areas that had court cases that were slowly being concluded by the court. Say, for example, the Mombasa gubernatorial, that those were the last bits that were going to go into the printing. Our mandate was to check the presidential ballot papers and the printing of the
Cherera, sorry to cut you short.
Did the work.
Commissioner, sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
You said by the time you got to Greece, the presidential, all the other ballot papers, by the time you left for Greece, were here. But then you have mixed up yourself. You were talking about getting there and they were done, except cases in areas where there were cases, like in Mombasa. But the presidential ballot paper is printed, one ballot paper for the entire country. It doesn't matter whether it's a case or not.
Yes, the ballot papers for presidential did have issues because remember we were printing the ballot papers for each voter for the whole country, and it is still the same, the content is the same for the whole country. So that one was already done.
Would you also probably talk about Smartmatic? Because when some of these materials were intercepted at the airport, it was then alleged that they were working for the commission. Were you guys aware?
No. That happened when we guys were in Greece, when the materials were intercepted by DCI at the airport. So the chairman and the few commissioners that were on the ground were handling that matter. But apparently, I also submit to the committee that the chairman was issuing press statements alone without consulting and bringing all the commissioners to speed on what was happening on the ground. So that was something else that another commissioner was on the ground.
That was on the matter of smart.
For
Commissioner.
Yeah.
That was on Smartmatic, the pronouncements by the chair. That's what the co-chair wants to establish.
Yeah, I want to establish the commission chair issued a statement on Smartmatic, or whatever they are called, without your involvement. But if we remember well, DCI is actually DCI. Are you aware what DCI did with that matter if they were actually not commission staff? Because it was actually in the news, and the commission indeed issued a statement. Do you know then what happened with DCI on that matter? If, as you aver, they were not working for the commission.
The Smartmatic materials that were held at the airport by the DCI, I said that time the team, we and Wanderi were in Greece. So the statements that were being issued were not commission statements. The chairman did them alone. Until we came back, and we sat together with the Inspector General of Police and the team, and they said that they have sorted the matter amicably, and we did a joint press conference together with them.
So when you came back,
That's mathematics.
let me get it right. When you came back, you had a meeting with the IG, Inspector General of Police. Were you in that meeting? All of you, you were there. And why did you not question if you think or if you believed they were not working for the commission? You participated then in a meeting with the Inspector General of Police that said you had sorted out the issue.
This, security matters are very, they're not supposed to be conversed here, but what we did was we agreed with the DCI that this matter has been sorted because mathematics was the one procured to do the technology for elections. And we gave a joint statement after the back and forth statement from security and IBC. So that day we gave a joint entry that everything is under control.